Okay, we'll start with a short prayer. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritangamaya. Shanti Shanti Shanti. Welcome everyone to this special session about food with Subha. So Shubha's husband Srini is on the Yoga Sadhana program, and I think he must have told Shubha, people have a lot of questions around food, and there's something we can do. And Shubha has offered to offer 2 sessions for us to understand the basics of food from the perspective of Ayurveda. Now, there's just so much information around food, unimaginable, just exploding, right? Social media is exploding, and every day there is something new coming up. And I don't know, we're just trying to catch up, and we seem to be running continuously. And a lot of times we have questions around what should we eat. You know, it appears as if I have the information, then I can change my life. But the information cannot change our life, because there's just too much of information. It will only give us more confusion. What can really change our life is taking a few simple principles and applying them in our day-to-day life. Small steps that we learn to take and then make these changes consistent. It's like building a new ground for us to engage with food, develop a new relationship with food. So I'm very happy, and thank you, Shubha, for offering these sessions for our Yoga Sadhana community, because food is primary to everything. Um, Whether it is Krishnamacharya or Desikacharya or any of the other teachers that we are studying with, they always keep coming back to food, which is the most important thing to pay attention to. The gross aspect of the food becomes our body, the most subtle aspect is our mind. So there is no escaping from this fact. The sooner we get to pay attention to food, the better and faster is our growth towards better self-awareness, and in some way it can accelerate the process. So Shubha is from my first batch of teacher trainees. I think we started way back in 2008, and when I travel to the US, I stay with her. I've had the opportunity to observe and see how she actually lives her life and how much attention she brings to food. And she does it in the most subtle, quiet, humble way. She's extremely inspiring, Shubha. So that gives me double pleasure to invite you, and thank you for being part of Yoga Sadhana and offering your understanding, your knowledge, and your experience in this field. And I definitely hope, and uh, I know that this is going to help us to really start paying attention to this area and make small changes. So we're all in this together, and welcome again. I'm going to hand over to Shubha.
Thank you. Thank you, Saras. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share this information. I'm actually really excited to share with the serious yoga practitioners. So they kind of can relate more to it, how the mindfulness and everything makes a difference in our progress. So, so let's get started. Um, can Let me share my screen here. So before that, so we'll do a short breathing practice. So can I ask all of you to sit in a comfortable position with your spine erect, keeping your shoulders relaxed. Observe where the weight is falling on your sits bones. Are you leaning forward? So are you rounding your lower back? Bring your awareness to these areas. Observe your throat. Observe your jaws if there is any tightness there. Observe if you're lifting your chin up or jetting it forward. Keep your neck in the neutral position so the spine stays aligned throughout the body. Start paying attention to your breath. So I'll offer a short prayer to Dhanvantari, Lord Dhanvantari. Just listen to the prayer as you are focusing on the breath. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrita Kalashahastaya Sarva Amaya Vinashaya Sarva Bhaya Vinashaya Trailokanathaya Shri Mahavishnave Namaha. Continue to focus on your breath. Gently bringing your awareness to the movement of your body. So observe how your body is moving as you breathe in and breathe out. Bring your awareness to the chest, bring your awareness to the abdomen. Continue to follow the flow of the breath. So gently move your awareness to the inside of the body as the breath is moving. So feel the movement of the chest, feel the movement of the diaphragm. Can you connect with your organs? Can you feel the movement in the pelvic floor as you inhale and exhale? Now bring your awareness to your abdomen. Observe how it feels. Does it feel heavy or light? Bring your awareness to your stomach as you breathe in and breathe out. Observe the area in the stomach. How does your stomach feel at this moment? Is it full, empty, or neutral? Does it feel dry? Or is there any burning sensation? Bring your awareness to your chest. Stay with the focus at the chest, taking few breaths. Observing if there is any discomfort or any burning sensation in the chest area. Bring your awareness to your throat. Observe how your throat feels right now. Do you notice a lot of mucus or dryness in the throat? Do you feel any sour taste or any other leftover taste in the throat at this moment? Bring your focus to your mouth. Keeping the focus there and taking few breaths. How does the tongue and mouth feel? Is there any excess saliva in the mouth? Excess mucus? Or do you feel it is dry? And how do your lips feel? Bring your awareness to your whole body. Observe the temperature of your body, temperature of your tips of your fingers, tips of your toes, the right side of the body, the left side of the body. Go back to observing normal breath. Just take 3 breaths. When you are ready, open your eyes. How many of us here? 18. Okay. Um, so thank you. Thank you once again. Thank you for coming and thank you for doing the practice with me. And so before we move on, so I would like to, we don't may not have time to go through everybody. So at least few of you to share your journey so far. I know you've been working with the food and observing how food is affecting your practice and exploring your cravings for the food and all that stuff. So if a few of you can share what you learned, like what you noticed and what you observed so far. And if there are any observations that you would like to share from just our breathing practice now, I would like to hear that before we proceed.
I can
Yes.
share.
Okay.
That's uh, so my observation, especially when I'm bringing my focus on when I start eating, is I don't want to be mindful about eating slowly or bringing focus, my entire attention to the food.
Mm.
Um, I feel that it's very difficult to concentrate on the food and then eat. The mind starts bringing up everything what I need to do in terms of finishing a task, or I feel like watching something on the YouTube. Like the constant focus on the food to maintain that is tough for me.
Okay. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Kanupriya, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. So anything specifically you observed in the breathing practice when you're observing your body today?
I felt that I had tension on the right side.
Okay.
Left side was very relaxed, but the right side um, was little bit difficult to relax.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Lavanya, you wanted to share something?
Um, so for me, I'm a complete foodie and I love to eat a lot of, junk, cheesy food. And I think after joining Yoga Sadhana, I understood one thing that, it's important to have a very mindful eating. I also observed that I was more of an emotional eater. I'm very happy, I eat. When I'm sad, I eat. When I'm really low, I eat more. So
Mm,
something I kind of observed, and now I'm aware of it. That I try to contain my food habits around it. That is one
mm,
thing that has definitely improved. And secondly, mindful eating. Again,
uh-huh,
I have kids at home, then managing, then juggling between work, all of that. I tend
mm,
to do food to fast. So now I'm
mm.
like, okay, I'll give that 5-10 minutes of my time to actually sit, enjoy, eat the food, and then go. That is something I've got into it. And so today I'm more aware that, there are certain food that I must avoid, and there are certain food that is good for my body and my mind. I'm in that space still exploring. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good observations. Yeah. So that is the starting point for all of us, right? Yes. Good. Yeah. Thank you, Lavanya. So could probably hear from Deepa.
Hi. Um, I have an issue with food, which is whenever I'm thirsty, I tend to eat. At least that's what I'm seeing now, which is water
Okay.
is very important for me. Like my digestive system is not like it's not so good. I'm most often constipated, so I have to drink water, but I rarely drink water. And whenever I have thirst coming up, I tend to eat. So that's a problem for me, but which I'm not able to shift. I have awareness, but it's quite difficult to shift that. And plus, there's a lot of emotional eating when I have to think, when I'm stressed. So I used to have these tendencies when I was working few months back, and once I did the Panchakarma treatment, it all went down.
Okay.
Like now that craving to eat sweet or chips is not there as I'm thinking. But like today was a very stressful day, so then I there was a chocolate lying around, so I had it. But otherwise, the tendency to like when I go to the supermarket, I'm not tempted to buy. But that was a case few months back where I would get into a shop and I have to buy it and I have
Yeah.
to eat it when I am overwhelmed by an emotion.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I also see so many changes. Like earlier, the constipation was really bad. Like nothing would digest, no matter how, like fruit. If I don't drink water normally, so but even if I take fruits, it wouldn't help. But now it's all different. I can eat non-veg every day and I'm okay. So I think my relationship would, it is a bit of a surprising relationship that I'm not anymore in an environment as before. I am not having the same stress, emotional stress as I had before. So that has, and plus probably the Ayurveda treatment, it has all changed my digestive system, which is uh, very surprising for me to notice that the same foods that used to cause me a lot of problems before, a lot of discomfort, and that I cannot even focus on what I'm doing or even listening like this in a place like this, I'm able to do it now with the same food, but my environment has changed. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
surprising.
Good. Good. Yes. Okay. Let's um thank you, Deepa. Quantum. So this quantum. So am I pronouncing it right?
It's Kantom. Or
Quantum.
yes. So my relationship with food, like I still have to say I'm not like eating very aware because sometimes I still watch things or whatever. But what's changed since the sadhana is that I eat better things. Like it's not that it's like more regular and healthier, I would say. I cook much more, which is
Okay.
nice, the nice change. But what I noticed is that I have a lot of like with like I don't know what actually reacts in my body, like what brings to gassy situations, and like I don't
Okay.
recognize from which products it's coming or whatever. So it's like so there this is a process I'm still like trying to um I'm trying to find out where it's going through. And what I found interesting right now in your in the little meditation we just had, like to go into what you said, like what taste do you feel in your throat, to be like, oh, my breakfast is there. Like I thought that was a nice exercise. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Quantum. And we'll hear from one last person before we move on. Divya.
Yeah, sorry. This is an observation in the last couple of weeks. Once a week, we have a academic session in the hospital that I work across specialties, and we have a lunch post that it's more like a networking session rather than anything else. So I usually am a person, I'm an ambivert. I have a bit of a social anxiety, but I camouflage it with just being over humorous and witty and everything. So once that session is done, I have my lunch, I go back to my other workplace, my clinic. I am still in that, excited electron state. And then I eat my lunch, I'm still done. I'm not hungry, but I want to munch, like that crack under my teeth. So I just remembered what I think Saris said, that when she does the Yoga Sutras, she used to do this exhaustive session and they used to go back to eat something sweet. She's not actually hungry, but she was craving that for some reason. So this is an observation I made in the last couple of weeks actually. So it's like an excited state. I don't know how to bring that down. So I'm just like, I need to munch. It's just I need to get that crack under my teeth. So that is something I've observed in the last couple of things. And now this breath technique when we were doing, I had a very amazing cold brew just 2 hours ago. So only thing was that bliss coming back to me. I was remembering the taste of the coffee when we were doing this.
Good, 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 good. Thank you, Divya. Yeah, so we all have that, like whenever we overwhelm or kind of something happens, like for me, like when I used to go out and come back, I had to have something. So basically some kind of thing to ground us. So it's kind of, if you look at from the elements point of view, it could be the air element that is going out of the way and we need to bring it down. So yeah. So let's get, thank you all for sharing. And looks like you are actually paying attention to what you are eating and how it is affecting, and also that is the first step. That is because no amount of knowledge will help us say, okay, this is going to fix me and all that. It is more about the observation. It is in sync with the theme of yoga sadhana, like observing. So observing what is happening when you're eating is the first step, like tuning into that to figure out so what kind of changes we need to make. So let's coming to our topic for today. So the goal is to, I know there is a lot about food, like Sarath said, there is so much information. So how can we distill some of the information that is there? And also going back to the Ayurvedic, this is one of the ancient sciences. So, and what it is saying, for me, the most attractive part about Ayurveda is about the foods or anything. So did it change its principles are set in stone, so the principles won't change, and whatever it says that are good, like thousands or 2000 years ago, it is still good. For example, ghee or coconut oil, anything, none of some of those things, the science in between said, okay, this is good, this is bad, but it is coming back. So that is one of the reason I'm basically sticking to the Ayurvedic food principles. So again, food is not just a fuel, it's a life force. So food is not just basically satisfying our hunger. It is actually is reason for our sustenance. It is reason for us to be able to sit here and talk, and everything is because of the food we are eating. And so I love this quote by George Bernard Shaw. There is no sincere love than love of food. So we all love our food, right? We all love to eat. But how can we make it also helpful and basically useful for our as our companion, just like the breath? How can we make food as also our companion to move towards our journey, to move towards our goals? So, and again, as I said briefly, so why I choose Ayurveda, like why do we need to look at Ayurveda, food from Ayurvedic perspective? Ayurveda is one of the first documented science which talked about the importance of food to preserve health and also to prevent diseases. So food along with the sleep and the balanced habits and the lifestyle are given the most important, said three important pillars to maintain the health. When Ayurveda talks about health, it is not just about the physical health. It's not just about preventing diseases. It talks about the health of our organs. It talks about the health of our senses, excretory system, reproductive system. It talks about our vitality, how we feel about for life. It talks about the mental clarity, how we feel in the mind, how we feel the emotions. Everything is combined is health. So as yoga practitioners, we are actually working towards that mental clarity. We want to be able to perceive better, and we want to be able to take the actions that are suitable, that are helpful for our journey. So with that in mind, so as the Ayurveda is giving us that focused view on the health. So we thought we could look at some of the principles it help giving us. So there are so many places where annam, the food, has given so much importance. So in Kashyapa Samhita is one of the Ayurveda book where it says food is the greatest medicine. There is no other medicine like food, even in diseases, even in your health. So it has the detailed list of what are the foods recommended for different seasons and different age, like for infants, what food is good, for pregnant ladies, for puberty, for old age. So there is so much information. It is just we need to be able to get access and start using it. And again, Taittiriya Upanishad says food is indeed the life force. So annam is prana. So if there is no annam, if you're not eating, if you're not getting our food, there is no life force. Yeah. And the most important thing, this is one thing that actually helped me, started me on this journey of food, is the subtle quality of the food becomes your mind. So as the quality of food determines the quality of your mind. So that's I found it very, very interesting, very appealing as a yoga practitioner to actually, as we are actually kind of working with our mind and want to get into a certain state of mind. So I was started exploring how actually food helps. So again, this is basically saying that Ayurveda is not just a medicine, it is the whole science which talks about the food and lifestyle. Now, when we talk about the food, there are so many questions we'll have: what to eat, how do I get my proteins, how do I get my vitamins, and what about the probiotics and all those kind of things. So I thought we need to step back a little and understand the concept of digestion. Yeah. This is the fundamental concept in Ayurveda for any treatment. So first they start working with the Agni, the digestion. Anybody who is at least little bit familiar with Ayurveda know how much importance they give for digestion. So Ayurveda says it is not you are what you eat, but Ayurveda says you are what you digest. So no matter whatever you put in your mouth, if you are not able to digest, you are not getting benefit from it. So the digestion is the most important thing. So we are going to look at that, and we are going to look at to see how we can understand the digestive strength. What is our digestive strength? And what are the digestive distresses? How do we know like when our digestion is not working well? Yeah. And will this might be covered more in the next later section, but we are going to look at some of the food choices that we can make based on the strength of the Agni. Yeah. So now moving on. Okay. So the basic, the definition of Agni in the Sanskritam is that which transforms. Yeah. So in tapas, we are learning that we need heat to purify ourselves, or kind of purify our thoughts and purify the body and the senses. So Agni is doing the transformation process. So whatever you consume through your mouth needs to go to the transformation process, so that the whatever the nutrients that are available that our body can use, right? So Jataragni here is the one that actually there are our whole body is actually Agni. So basically everything we are doing is because of the Agni. So, but the Jetaragni is the one that is in our stomach and duodenum. So it is the combination of those enzymes and the gastric juices and all that stuff. So that is the one that is transforming the food. So when your quality of your food, quality of your what you are putting in your mouth is good, the if the acne is also good, the juice that comes out of it, it is called ahara rasa. So let's say nutritive juice that comes out of it will also have a good nutrition. And and then you notice the you will have all these the your tissues will get nourished and your organs will get nourished, and your sense of clarity will be more, and so you will experience a good vitality. Yeah, so when your strength of your acne is good, and if the acne is, if the food is not getting digested well, as you are if your acne is weak and the food is not getting digested well, some of the food, undigested food will be left over in the process, and that is called ama in Ayurveda. And Ayurveda says that is the root cause for all the diseases. So anything that is undigested, that is blocking the channels, that will result into that will result in so if it gets left over for a long time, so that will lead into the other diseases. Yeah. So there are 4 types of Agni. And so the thing to remember is all of us will experience different types of Agni at different times of the day, and may experience. We are all basically the goal is to move towards the Sama Agni, balanced Agni. But based on your lifestyle, based on your sleeping patterns and everything, the Agni get disturbed. Yeah, so it might move into the weak Agni, it might move into the Tikshna, like a, strong Agni, or the Agni might fluctuate. So the let's say what how do you experience balanced Agni when your Agni is at the optimal level? So that means you are getting hungry at a certain periods of time. Yeah. So your Agni, your appetite will be regular, and you will experience lightness after the meal. You don't experience heaviness. So, and you will feel satisfied. You don't go look for eating something else. There will be cravings will be low, and you'll also, as a overall, you will experience a strong immunity and good health. That is how you know you are experiencing the Agni, Sama Agni. So if you are experiencing lethargy or heaviness after the meals, that means our Agni is weak. Yeah. So the appetite will be low, and so it may lead into the weight gain over the time. Yeah, so there will be lethargy and brain fog, and all of those are the symptoms of Agni not being strong. So it is called Manda Agni. And when your Agni is, so basically, let's, if you are looking at this as like if you are cooking something on the stove, and if you put your stove into very low flame, right? You know, it takes very long time to cook. If you are cooking rice or something, you know, it takes long time to cook. It may lose a lot of nutrients, and it may also um, so produce that because it is taking very long time to cook, the whatever the coming the out product is not that good. So that is what happens even in your stomach. So in the stomach we are cooking the with Agni, we are cooking our food. So that's why we need to have that flame at a correct level. Again, when your Agni is very strong, so if you are cooking something on the stove and you put the flame too high, what happens? The food will burn, right? Food will burn, and some of the food will not cook well. So similar thing happens in our stomach. Yeah. So then what is then you don't basically absorb the nutrients. Assimilation will be low. So you might feel weakness. Yeah. You might feel, even though if you are feeling a lot of nutritious food and all, if your Agni is too strong, you are not getting the benefit out of it. So you might feel weakness, and you might feel like irritable, yeah, all that stuff. So you might feel hungry soon after you eat something. because you are not getting benefit out. So the loose stools and some of those are kind of the side effects. So if it is Agni is left high for a long time, it will burn the inside of the stomach lining. So you will experience acidity and heartburn and all those things. So Vishamagni is the one that where you experience irregular hunger. So that means Agni is strong sometimes and Agni is weak. Yeah, sometimes it is very strong and sometimes it is very weak. So that is that's when you experience constipation. Yeah, most of the time, and the gas or the bloating, all those are the symptoms of the Vishamagni. Again, the same thing happens with the not being able to absorb the nutrients properly. So this is the basic fundamental thing about the Agni. So if you are able to observe this, for example, you had a late night dinner, and so you slept late. That means you are not giving enough time to for the food to digest when you get up in the morning. So just to see how you are feeling. So your Agni might be low because it is still working on the previous night's food or something. Yeah, so then if you adjust accordingly, if you adjust what you eat for the breakfast accordingly based on the strength of your Agni, so you will be able to bring it back to the balance sooner. Yeah. So that is the thing that we are going to learn today. So I found this thing interesting. So this is the Agni, right? So like as I said, all of us are experiencing, like the Agni is dynamic, right? It changes. So based on our lifestyle, sleep, and what we are feeding it, so it could the strength of the Agni will change. So given that, so if you have to let's say based on your current strength of the Agni, so what is the food that you think, like if you have eaten, let's say you eaten this at night, and so your Agni is at a balanced level. So these are the byproducts of the process, right? So the one is the nutritive juice, one is ama. Ama is the undigested food, and there is mala, all the excretion, right? That urine, feces, and all that stuff that is formed after the digestion process. So what would be I don't know why it is changing without my. Sorry. Okay. So what do you think would have a higher chance of creating ama? Which food in here?
The third?
Third
Ama
one?
would be with the first.
First.
First one, right? First one, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, yes. So third one will be very gentle on Agni. Yeah, this Agni will like that kind of food at any time. It looks like some kind of a khichdi or some kind of one-pot meal, right? With lentils and rice. And again, for someone who is very young and who has a very strong appetite, and it's in the winter season, our appetite is strong compared to the summer. So they might be able to digest this one okay without producing a lot of ama, right? But for someone like if it is something that you need to want to eat in dinner, might not be able to digest. Yeah. So and this one also based on what we are doing, and this one it might be hard for anyone. So yeah. So just having that kind of a view of when you are looking at the food, and so whether I'm able to digest it or not, that is the first question we need to ask. Yeah. So then let's move on to the. So Agni as transformative energy. So Agni transforms not. So Agni is responsible for any fire, like whatever. The heat is responsible for any kind of transformation in our body. It's not just about transforming the food into the whatever the nutritive juice. again for the assimilation process, the metabolic process is because of the Agni. So at the metabolic process, at the cellular level, everything that is going on, so even at the organs or anything that we are receiving from our senses need to get transformed for our mind to for the perception, right? So everything is dependent, even for the experiences, and even our thoughts need to get processed. All these processes happen because of the Agni. So Jatarakni, when we are looking at Jatarakni, it is only about the food, but in one way, so everything is, whatever the action we are doing is because of the presence of the Agni. And the quality of the action is dependent on the quality of the Agni. So in that way, without Agni, so there is nothing, there is no life force. So there is no heat. Of course, when we pass away, our body becomes cold because there is no Agni in our body. So that way, so Agni plays a central role in everything we are doing. So that is the kind of so when we are, that is why Jataragni is the center of everything. So when we focus on improving the strength of the Agni at that, I'm not sure why it is keep moving, but yeah. So when we focus on the strength of the Agni, we are not just looking for the digesting our food well, we are also looking at digesting our life itself. Yeah. So that is how much importance is given to Agni in Ayurveda. So so you must have heard this where Ayurveda says eat whenever you are hungry. Yeah, eat when you are hungry. And also it says eat at regular intervals. So it all falls in place. When you eat at regular intervals, we actually feel hungry at the regular time. Yeah, so that is one of the, so hunger, basically you say hunger, so you feel the burning sensation when you feel hunger, right? That is the Agni is saying that our previous food is digested, my stomach is empty and all the enzymes are created. I am ready to receive the food. That is the signal that Agni is giving us, right? And so that means the nutrition is happening at a right appropriate time. So, but if you skip the meal when you feel hungry, but if you skip the meal, everything is ready, the stove is burning, but you are not putting anything on it. You have a vessel, but you are not putting anything on it. So it end end up damaging the inner lining. Yeah. So that is how you see it with the hunger. So when you are eating without hunger, that means the stomach is still full. It is still working on the food that is there, that you have eaten at the previous meal, and you are putting something on top of it. So then it would take, so basically that leads into the incomplete digestion, right? And then you will get indigestion and all those things will have, and you will end up creating ama over the process because you are putting more than what your Agni can digest. So again, so respecting your hunger is very, very important. Either eating too little or too much can affect the strength of the Agni and result in ama. Deepa. Yes, Deepa.
What about fasting then? When it comes to skipping meals when hungry, like
So fasting as a ritual thing you are talking about, or
yeah, like so when we fast, we are actually skipping meals even when hungry, right?
yes, yeah. So fasting, so basically Ayurveda says fasting is kind of langhana treatment kind of a thing, right? You eat light. It doesn't recommend to go fully fast, like as a regular householders and I don't know about the spiritual practices, but the fasting is, and also if your mind is prepared to fast, so you don't just randomly go and today I will fast, then mind is not prepared. But if you are doing it like for every 15 days regularly, your mind is already prepared to actually have the lesser food and the stomach and all that stuff. So then it will actually, it will help you. It will help you in that journey. But if you suddenly decide I will fast tomorrow, then that is not advised. That kind of thing is not advisable. So in general, even if you want to go for the fasting, regular fasting, Ayurveda asks you to take it slow. Start with having some soups, yeah, or something, some liquid, yeah, at a regular intervals. And also it also depends on for different types of people, it recommends different type of fast. For the people who are actually pitta, that means you always have a lot of hunger and all, it recommends you to having some soups or something as a part of the fasting. So you start reducing the meals first, yeah, so you don't just go on not eating and not drinking water or anything like that. So that is at least from Ayurvedic perspective.
I
Yeah.
have a follow-up question as well. So one thing I've noticed is when I get involved with something I really love doing,
Yeah.
I lose hunger. So
Hunger.
I'm not sure if it is like um, not recognizing hunger, or actually you lose hunger when your prana is like energized by something other than food. Does that happen?
Yeah, I did hear that happens. It doesn't happen to me. But does it, how often it happens?
It's happening like these days.
And bring, yeah.
Yeah, so earlier I used to be working in an office where everyone had a set time. People would eat and come to the office. People would come together and eat lunch, and people would have snacks together. So there was always a set time to work, and evening I would go home and eat. But now I'm working by myself, and I've noticed that I'm sticking to 2 meals a day, and I'm not snacking in between. And sometimes when I'm so involved with what I'm doing, or even meeting people, sometimes I feel so energized that there is no hunger. Sometimes I get worried, like, am I eating enough? Do I have enough calcium or whatever? But my health hasn't ever been so better as now. But my food habits is not great. So that's why I'm wondering, like, can some other things also be food for you, like rather than physically taking food?
Ah, I don't know, but for yogis, that they don't need to eat food because their spiritual practice is so strong, right? Like they
Okay.
can actually survive on the breath. And for us as a householders, to function, to do the things, and to stay healthy, we do need food. We do need to eat food. So that is very important. So yeah. And bringing focus to the body is one of the things that we learn, right? As the yoga, as we are practicing yoga. So maybe that would help to just to connecting with the body and see how you are feeling. So yeah, I know I do hear that when you involve in something that you really like, you lose hunger and all that. But we do need our food, so
Like
just
when I
bring.
had food, I had all sorts of deficiencies also, calcium, cholesterol high. But now I don't have that. So I'm just,
Mhm.
it's
Yeah.
just a question I have.
Yeah, and it's also long term we are looking at, right? So you need to kind of think about that too. It's not just the immediate effect. Yeah. So eating to, okay. Now, okay, it actually talking about the question that Deepa just asked. Um, and Deepa, you were saying you don't feel hungry at all. So that is a different thing. Yeah. So I just want you to take a moment to reflect. So if you have a pattern of doing one of these things, just read the questions by yourself. So if you actually have a pattern of doing, so if you do it once in a while, that is okay. But can you recognize any of these that you do? Okay, sharing. I lost sharing now. Okay. Can you see my screens? Sharing is paused.
No, we can see Shubha Krishnaveni here.
Oh, okay. You can see the screen now?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay, can a couple of you see if you can share if you noticed anything that is your consistent pattern?
I can share. So I have been noticing that I feel lethargy after meals, especially after breakfast.
Okay. Okay, after breakfast. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also I try to
Do
stick
you
to
feel hungry before the breakfast?
yeah, I feel hungry before the breakfast.
Okay.
Yeah. But then I've also gotten so like set in my timings that
Mm.
sometimes I'm eating when I'm not hungry also because I feel like now it's time to start eating. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Good. Anyone else?
I felt surprised to hear that one feels light after the meals. I think I feel heavy or maybe more heavy, but I never felt light. So I would like to really experience that. So
Yes, yeah. So it's like a puzzle piece when we match our food to our strength of the Agni, and that's when I feel like it happens. Basically, we always need to focus on how can I digest whatever I am eating, can I digest it? So what would help me to digest? Sometimes adding some digestive spices would help better. Yeah, not that you have to reduce what you are eating all the time, but sometimes it may not be having. So we need to support our digestive system. So that is what the spices are for, like the ginger, the coriander, cumin, and all those things. Yeah. Good. Thank you, Durga. Anyone else?
I'm sorry. Is there a relationship with the Agni with the menstrual cycle?
Agni with the menstrual cycle. Yes. Yes. So basically, Agni kind of varies throughout the day. And so basically, it varies for different age groups. Like it is unique to the person, first of all. And also, it varies with water. Yeah, it varies with the menstrual cycle, and it varies with the seasons, and it varies with the different stages of like what are the other things that you are experiencing in life. Yeah. So what do you experience in periods?
No, no,
Anything?
no. Basically, the need for eat to
Mm.
eat, irrespective whether I am hungry or not, peaks in the premenstrual period.
Yeah, that is also the emotion. There is an emotional part of it too,
Yeah,
Divya.
very truly. That is an
Yeah.
emotional eating. But apart from
Yeah.
that, is that the digestive fire that you have mentioned?
Actually, you better eat light at that time.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I
not
feel that
heavy.
whatever I eat, even the routine food seems difficult to digest, as you mentioned.
Yeah, you feel light. You actually need to eat light during that time. So that very easy to digest kind of food would actually save you from doing the emotional eating and kind of reduce other symptoms that you experience. Yeah. So, Sangeeta, you wanna say something or we move on to the?
Yeah, it just for me the eating pattern is just mainly not realizing the time, and when I'm working or I'm
Ah,
the
yeah.
skipping of meals. Like I'm not somebody who eats three
Mm.
meals anyways. I mean, which is okay. Actually, it's not a problem. After eating 2 meals a day is enough for me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's just mostly the time and the not
Mm.
realizing when I'm working, I get lost in that. And
Mm. Yeah. So, but what do you experience though because of that? How does it feel?
then there's a problem of like, then I have to have, like, I'll have this hunger that I need to then it's really alarming hunger, and then I'm making quick solutions. Or if I haven't taken the time to cook that beforehand, then obviously there are other issues that will happen. Like I'll eat
Yeah.
a quick meal, which is
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So mostly I think my struggles are just about being able to prepare meals so that I have it next to me when I'm
Yes.
hungry. And that's where I'm trying to put more effort into.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 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 Good, good. Sangeeta. Gabriela, say something.
Um, Hello, good
Yes,
afternoon.
Gabriela.
I know that in Ayurveda there are no hormones or hormones equivalent, perhaps, but in the West, science tells us that during the follicular phase, estrogen is high, you need to eat certain foods. And then during luteal phase, when the progesterone is high, you need to eat other types of food. Does Ayurveda have any recommendation like that? And also, does it guide women in perimenopause and menopausal phase? Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll go touch those areas also. Not directly, but Ayurveda says the food requirements are very simple. If you eat a balanced meal every single day, like for all the most of the meals, you are sorted. You are, and if you follow this, you've been hearing about the circadian rhythm and all that, right? So the following the cycle of the sun and the day and night, how the hormones get generated and all that. So, but Ayurveda, we talked about timely eating for a long time. Since ever, so that you finish your night meal before the sunset, and you sleep by 10 o'clock, and all those things is if you follow those on a regular basis, you are actually your hormones will you are able to digest, you are able to supply the nutrition well, and your hormones will also produce normally. So there is nothing special as per the Ayurveda you need to do and to go through the perimenopause and all those phases, because it doesn't talk about the hormones separately, as you said. It is focused on being able to digest and being able to actually stay in rhythm with the nature. That is the most important thing. So if you follow the rhythm of the day, and if you make the adjustments based on the changes of the weather or changes of the seasons, you are able to because we are part of the nature. So when we follow this, we'll experience a better health.
Thank you,
So the
Shubhaji. But here the sunset is at 4 o'clock in
I
winter,
know,
so
I know.
I really
Yeah,
don't know
yeah,
how to
I know. But
hibernate.
for us we need to make changes. I also live in Seattle. So that is applicable more for India time, but still again, like if you can actually eat by 6 o'clock and or 6:30 and then sleep by 10 o'clock is what the so far that the sleep makes a lot of difference. The way similarly as food, the sleeping on the time, because the night we are going to look at that clock in some time. So when you are sleeping at the 10 o'clock, you are actually giving your time to repair itself and regenerate and rejuvenate. So, but if you don't, if you skip that time, so you are robbing your body from nourishing itself. So those, if those kind of things are taken care of, we as per Ayurveda, you don't need to do anything extra to support your hormones and all that stuff. Yeah. So this is coming from Ayurveda and my personal experience so far. Okay, let's move to the next one. Okay, how do we know when our digestion is not working well? So we understand what the strength of the digestion, so what the strength of the Agni is and all that. But how do we know when it is not working well? So these are a lot of the signals that our body is giving us. When we're talking about listening to the body in the yoga practice, similarly, we need to listen to the body for when it is giving us, Agni is giving us these signals, right? That it is not functioning, its Agni is impaired, it is giving us these signals. And some of these signals we just don't pay attention. We just consider it as a normal and all that stuff. But inside it is actually, it builds up over the time. So the sooner we catch the signals and start working on it, the better. So it doesn't mean that you need to be panic when you actually experience sore toes for a day or two, or the constipation for a couple of days. But if it is happening consistently, that means it is looking for you to, it is asking you to pay attention. And then if you left it like that, so that is when we are going to have the lot of ama built up in the body, and it will it may lead you to some diseases over the time. Yeah. But on the day-to-day basis, if you are able to focus, for example, if you are experiencing bloating one day, it could be what you have eaten just that day. But if you are experiencing bloating for a longer, like for a month or so, that means there is something else going on with your Agni, with your digestion capacity. So that's when you need to. So even the low energy, again, over the time, these may lead into some depressions or kind of developing into some other diseases. So these are the things we need to pay attention. So that is one of the things that we try to do with the breathing practice, being able to connect with our body and look at the signals. So I do, when I eat very spicy food for a couple of days, I experience this taste in mouth. So that just gives me the signal. So okay, I need to bring my pitta, that heat down. So I need to pacify with adding some ghee into my meals, or adding some cooling vegetables, eating like a zucchini or bottle gourd. So I try to kind of make the small adjustments, and then it will come back to the normal. So those kind of changes that we can do. Again, when you are feeling lethargy after meals, or heaviness after the meals, so look at what you are eating. If it is happening for a while, that means you might want to kind of cut down on heavy beans or kind of a meat or something for some time and see how it feels. And once it gets back into the normal, you can start adding your favorite foods. So preserving, how do we preserve? So this is all Ayurveda. When it is talking about the food, it has given us a lot of, it given us a roadmap of from achieving this, the wellness or the kind of a optimal health. So those are all called like, there are guidelines for eating, there are guidelines for cooking, there are guidelines for picking the ingredients based on the season, based on our age, based on the stage of life, whether it is periods or kind of a pregnancy or anything. So, so there is a lot of recommendations on that. And so for me, so in Hindu culture, we have this homam where we basically offer fuel to the fire, sacred fire, right? So similarly, so we have Agni inside us that is actually helping us with everything that we are doing. So that is helping us to keep us functioning and do the actions that we like to do. And one of the Ayurveda primary goal is not just the health. It is for us to be able to achieve what we want to achieve in our life, to fulfill our purpose, fulfill our dharma. Right. So that's the fire, the Agni inside us is helping us to do all that stuff. So whenever you are eating something, you are offering that to the sacred fire inside our body. So that is, I like this quote. This is from one of the um, Shastras, the Upanishads. So I am feeding the sacred fire in my body to sustain my life force. So that is the attitude you have when you are eating. So you just don't randomly eat anything, but you know that when you are eating something, you are feeding the fire inside you, and it is in turn feeding the hell, giving the life force. And okay. So the next flu sign. So this is all about the Agni and all. So now next few slides, we are going to look at the guidelines that Ayurveda is giving, eating, cooking, and the selection of ingredients. Again, these are not the rules. This is all for us to be able to preserve our Agni, strength of the Agni. Yeah. So these are the guidelines. This is like a roadmap that you can use. And yeah. So this is one of my favorite things. So what is your eating etiquette? So basically, how do you show up to eat your food? So we know, like, we have some specific things that we do when we go out to meet people. We kind of, we know what we want to decide, what dress to wear, what shoes to wear. If it is cold outside, we wear a jacket, and and how much time we allocate time to travel to that place, and all that we plan, right? And again, even to go to gym to work out, we have some specific things we do. And if you are in an important meeting, we keep our phone in the silence, and we kind of reduce the distraction and all that. So do you do any such things? Do you have any such routine for eating? This is the most important thing we are doing for our body. So do you have any such etiquette that you follow for eating? So is what we are going to explore. But if any of you have any routine or something that you follow, I'd like to hear from you. Deepa.
Um, for me, I enjoy eating, but I also like watching a Netflix show during that time because it's the time I break from work or self work or whatever it is, and it's my time of enjoyment.
Yeah.
But I have noticed that ever since we started doing yoga sadhana, and this topic did come across, that what you watch, you are eating it with your food. So I was watching a Korean show, Korean drama, which had a lot of fighting and paranormal activities. So one day I actually felt like that, like I was ingesting all that I was seeing.
Mm. Mm.
So I had to take some conscious efforts to not watch.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know why I feel the need to watch a show, because sometimes I do enjoy the food, but it's like along with the food, I need to like have some like a feast for my eyes.
Yeah. Some of times it is just a habit, right? That we've been doing it for a long time. So it is kind of hard to break, the samskaras that we talk about. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay, let's move on. No one has anything else to share. Yeah, so this is something we all need to think about. So how are we showing up for our food? Uh, so are we making an attempt to not have any distractions? Are we giving the time that it needs? Are we chewing our food? Are we being mindful when we are eating? These are the things that we need to actually ask ourselves and see what we can do at this moment from where you are.
Krishnaveni here, Shubha. I usually do a prayer to gather myself, before the food. That's the ritual I follow. So that, my mind becomes balanced so that I don't eat whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that gives me centeredness too. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. So that is why I think the prayers are actually even before the food, right? So
Mm.
because to reduce all the other noise and bring us to the present. Uh,
Mm.
so this actually exactly summarizes what one of my Ayurveda teacher said about the uh, mindful mindset before eating. It could be a prayer or your intention or something that you set. So our thoughts and emotions add subtle qualities to our meals, like extra herbs and spices in a recipe. Gratitude, care, and attention enhance the life force in food, while anger, worry, or thoughtlessness can diminish it, right? So just before eating, just see how your mind is, look at your emotions, if there is something that is not conducive. So try to bring yourself to neutral, either through breath or prayer or anything that you can do. So to bring it back to the present moment. So this is the most important thing we are doing, the eating. So that's taking a moment would really help. So this is, as I said, there is a long list of things that Ayurveda has again to help us to preserve our health um, and continue progress in our life journey. So I picked few. I felt these are something that are kind of easy for us connect with that we can connect with and are kind of something that we can start implementing sooner than later. So one of the first thing is timely food habits, the kala bhojana. So the regular timing for meal is key to preserve health. Timely eating implies the freshness of the how fresh the food is and the timings of our food, how long the food is stored, and what is the age of the grain. Is the old rice or the new rice? Everything makes a difference. So again, as I briefly touched about the circadian rhythm, so this is what Ayurveda is talking about. Basically, our body produces the maximum amount of enzymes and the gastric juices to digest the food during the midday when the sun is high. So at its peak, so that's when you eat your heavy meal. The biggest portion of your meal is during the lunchtime. So following the rhythm of that day and night will help to keep our Agni at a good, at an optimal level. And the next one is eat in an appropriate place, create a calm and focused environment. So this was when I was young. There was like so we all ate in ate in our kitchen. So there were no TVs, no, not even a dining table at that time for at our home at least. So we all ate in a kitchen. So but now over the time, because now we have TVs and other devices, our eating place has moved from kitchen to all the other places, right at the front, at the desk of our workplace, or at the computer, or in the or in the sofas to watching TV, or at the dining table, but also having the devices next to us, and all this is happening. But creating that space, even at your work, having just a small dedicated place for your eating would actually help you to bring more focus on the process of eating, because again you are, of course, you are serving your Agni at that point, right? So anything you can do, even Ayurveda even suggests actually before you sit for eating, you have all the things that you need close by, so you don't move around in between the eating. So that plays an important. So this is small things we can do. So that actually creates that environment, and over the time, like even when you feel stressed and all that, or something else happens, so the it is actually preventing the habits of developing stress eating and all those things, because you are actually dedicating the place, you always go to that place to eat, and creating a small ritual around it. Again, eating at moderate pace, not too fast and not too slow. This is something I'm still working on. So chewing the food. What I'm learning is, so when I actually chew the food well, I'm actually enjoying the food more. I am actually tasting it even more. So as the taste in the mouth stays longer, your satisfaction level will also improve. So again, not too fast, not too slow. So digestion, again, the digestion begins in the mouth. So again, we are always looking at how can I digest it better. So by chewing well, you are digesting it better. If you are not chewing, so you are sending the more, you are asking you need to do more work. So keep that in mind and chew well, and the focus on food. Tanmana Bhunjit. So engaging. So it talks about engaging all the senses. Helps you to fully enjoy. So when you are engaging all the senses, your eyes and your ears, your say, sense of smell, sense of touch, and all that as you are eating. Again, just like the chewing, it will also increase your satisfaction levels. So when I started on this one, so this one was too hard for me. So I had the place to sit, but thoughts are all over and all that stuff. So, but even the chewing was like I was a fast eater. So I just, as soon as something comes in my plate, I just want to eat. So, but as I paying more, and like it took a while for me to start getting used to it, but I'm just showing up every single day and making an attempt. You might not be chewing every single spoon with full attention, but at least a few once in a while. If you start with an intention in the beginning, that will keep coming to your mind. So you will keep coming back to your food, and that helps. So this is about the eating guidelines. And now we look at the cooking guidelines. Just like eating, when you are cooking, again, you are cooking for either you are cooking just for yourself or for your partner or any other members in the family. Having that intention that whatever the food you are cooking is serving your health, is serving the people, is supporting the health of the people whoever is eating. Having that intention would help a lot, would make that food much more nutritious. So avoid a high heat and overcooking. So don't cook again with the similar to what we discussed with the Agni. If you have a high heat, your food is not cooked thoroughly. Some parts are cooked well and some parts are cooked low. So avoid that high heat cooking and overcooking, cooking on the very low heat, and retain the moisture. Moisture is very, very important. When we are thinking about the constipation and all that stuff, so we only think about the water, but the how your food is makes a lot more difference. If your food is too dry, that will take a lot of moisture from your body to digest it. So that's why we need to have good fats in your when you are cooking. You need to have enough moisture in your cooking. So give the, so that basically when Ayurveda talks about food, it talks about it has to be hot, fresh, and moist. These are the three things it talks about. Hot means basically that warm, not too hot. Yeah. And whatever you are cooking, think like, for example, if you are cooking beans, the like garbanzo beans or kind of peas, chana or something like that. Make sure you have enough digestive spices in it. Don't just eat with salt and pepper. Um, that is not enough for it to digest. You need to have some ginger in it, some cumin in it. Yeah. So something that is kind of little bit of heating that that would help to digest. So any meal, you need to select. For example, if you are drinking milk, if you want to drink milk, just drinking the cold milk will have a lot. It is very hard to digest. But if you heat up the milk with some spices like a cinnamon or cardamom or ginger, dry ginger, it would help to digest it better. Again, when you are the sauteed, so it Ayurveda always recommends you cook your meals. Don't go for the raw salads or something. So when you are cooking your vegetables, add some ghee to bring the moisture in it, and add any other supportive spices. This is about cooking guidelines. If you have any questions at this point, you can ask me.
There was actually some questions in the chat.
Okay. Want me to look at them now, or let me see?
I can read them out if you like.
Okay. Yeah.
So one of them from Kantam was, what is rasa?
Rasa. Okay. Rasa in terms of what is produced after the digestion is the juice. So we are eating something in the form of some solids or whatever, but when it goes to the churning and the digestion process in the stomach, what you get is the liquid form of the food. I guess I need to drink some water. Let me have some water. Any
So,
other questions, Tarini? Okay.
yeah, there was, what is the relationship between Agni and Prana?
What is the relationship between Agni and Prana? So the prana we know is flowing throughout the body, right? Through all the different channels and all that. So whatever we are eating, so of course that it is serving our helping with the functioning of the all the organs and all that. And so the way Agni is directly, so the what do you mean by prana in this case? Actually, is it's not the breath? Who asked this question?
Gabriella.
Gabriela. So Gabriela.
Yes, I'm in
Yeah.
route, but I hope it will not break. So we always hear prana, prana, pancha prana. Even in the grace before eating, we talk about prana, and then we talk about agni, jataragni, and then at the level of every cell, and then also digesting impressions. So I was wondering, what is the relationship, or think only divided by function? Thank you.
Yeah, so as far as I can tell, so the Ayurveda looks at it as so we are the flow of prana, right? And so whatever we are doing with the Agni or kind of the food and the digestion, so we are making sure that the prana flows freely, so there are no blockages created, right? So when your blockage is created to the flow of prana, so that is the role that Agni plays.
You also kindly
The
mentioned
channels
that the
open.
yogis can do with less food because they are in charge of their prana. So therefore, the
Yes,
question.
yes, yeah.
Yeah, because they're in charge of their prana. Yeah. They can direct how they want the prana to flow, right? They can clear the blockages and all that. But for us, we are creating the blockages and we are clearing the blockages. Okay. And so next question. So we are going to wrap up soon, so I'll have time for the questions. How do you decide what to cook? So basically, is there a process that you follow? Again, is there a process you follow for eating? Is there a process you follow for cooking? Is there a process you follow for picking your ingredients, picking your deciding what to cook for that day? So you might be cooking for yourself, or you might be cooking for the entire family, or someone else is cooking for you. So is there something that helps you decide what to cook? Um, so for me, before I learned about all this stuff, it is just about what I have in the fridge that day and what do kids feel like eating, what everybody can eat. Now I kind of try to connect with the season. For example, if it is summer, I try to cook something that is cooling. Either, as I said, either zucchini or bottle gourd or other gourd vegetables. And the spices I use are also different during that time. So I use coriander and the cumin and fennel, those kind of things. I try not to cook anything heavy for the dinner, so no meat for the dinner. And and also sometimes it depends on if I eat late and if I didn't sleep well for some reason at night, the morning I don't feel as hungry. So sometimes I decide to, I don't usually skip the breakfast, but instead of doing anything big for breakfast, I would just choose to eat a fruit for breakfast or something like that. So those kind of adjustments that we need to make based on how we are feeling. So that is what the next topic is. Again, here also we are talking about the prana. Prana is the life force, so that you experience in your body. So when your prana is flowing well in your body, so there is a less chance of having any like tightness or kind of the any pains and aches and pains and all that stuff. So when you're the when use the ingredients that are fresh, that gives the maximum life force even after cooking and digesting. So choose seasonal and time appropriate foods. In some again, the ingredients and all, I hear a lot of Ayurveda Vaidyas are talking about eat the food that you've been eating your generation, like your ancestors have been eating for a long time, so that your inner microbiome is more suitable to digest those foods. So focus on that and pick the ingredients that are available locally, that are grown locally, and season appropriate. Yeah, so because the nature also gives the fruit, the vegetables and fruits that are more suitable for that season. So you get lot of fruits in the summer, but not in other seasons, not so much in winter. So it is very good to eat fruits in the summer, and the winters are for more warming soups and little heavy meals, because in winter we have a heavy digestive fire, are good. And and try to balance all six tastes in your meal. The sweet taste. So we are going to talk about little bit more about this in the next session. Sweet taste, sour taste, salty, pungent, bitter. So that actually gives the satisfaction. If you dominate your food with, if you eat lot of spicy meals, after ending the meal, you feel like eating something else. Even same thing for sour taste. So that actually ruins our palate, the taste buds on the tongue. So we don't end up enjoying the meal that is actually very nourishing. So when we dominate food with one taste at a time. So try to balance your meals. Try to balance the taste in your meal. Uh, Kantam, want to say something? Have a question?
Yes, I have a question. You just said about like you just said like what the ancestors used to
Mm-hmm.
that
Yeah.
we should
Yeah.
eat, but
Yeah.
what the question what came to my mind was like, for example, what my ancestors ate in Bangladesh is different to what I can eat in Germany. Like,
Yes.
of course, like there's different vegetables and the
Yeah.
seasons are differently. Like what would be
Mhm.
the balance
Mhm.
in that?
Yeah, so that because I also live in US, but here the condition is, we do get a lot of so from what I heard from the one of the Ayurveda Vaidya is at least try to maintain 30-70 balance. So because you were if you have recently moved to that country, or kind of you are the first generation, then your microbiome is still geared towards what you have eaten as a young child, right? So try to have at least 30% of it in your meals and the other 70% locally, and try to bring that balance. And yeah, so that is what uh, we
And what
said.
if I'm born here?
You are born there, right? You are born
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
And so your parents moved or something, like our microbiome also keep evolving based on the local, with a lot of other factors, right? So
Mhm.
if your parents are also have eaten the local food and all that from Germany, so you will have a mix of both. So from where you are from, where your family and everything is from originally, and the local food. So you try to balance that. So but as much as possible, actually getting the seasonal and the local food is the beneficial, and also supplement something with something that your body is used to digesting. I'm not sure if it really satisfies your question, but that is the exploration we need to do. Yeah,
Thank you.
because because it is the, like for example, I'm here, and as I won't be able to digest soy or tofu, right? So even though a lot of craziness about tofu for protein, vegetarian protein and all that, so my body is not designed to digest tofu as much. So that we need to observe and kind of make the changes. You can actually experiment the foods that are available there, and see how you digest, and yeah, come up with something that is more suitable. Yeah. Sangeeta.
I think Monica had her hand before, so
Okay.
she was before me.
Thank you.
Monica.
Shubha, I have a question regarding the oils. I am from the north of India and have
Yes.
grown up eating mustard oil. That's the only
Yeah.
oil that we have ever used. And
For all seasons, Monica, for all seasons you
all,
use mustard oil?
yes.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
And apart from that, it is still desi ghee. So we
Desi ghee, right? Yeah. Yeah.
eat
Mm-hmm.
ghee. And of course, in winters, ghee goes up. The consumption of ghee goes up.
Mm-hmm.
But all the vegetables are always cooked and sautéed in mustard oil.
Mustard oil.
And from my introduction to Ayurveda in the last 4 or 5 years, in fact, it was shocking for me initially when they said, "Oh, it's not good. It's
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
I was like, but the whole of North is eating it.
North is, yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what you say. If your system is accustomed to use it, like for example, even the coconut oil in Kerala, not everybody can actually use that as a cooking oil on a regular basis. Yeah.
But my
So,
question is that
mm,
I understand that, my microbiome and
mm-hmm,
genetically we are tuned into eating it and doesn't affect us much. But my
mm-hmm,
pitta has been haywire in the last few
yeah,
years.
yeah,
And, but
yeah.
then, uh, I mean, I can't find any other oil that can cook the recipes that well, and even sesame falls in the heating categories. So I was wondering if you have
So
any.
sesame is comparatively less than the mustard, the heating wise. So if you are noticing the increase in pitta, that means yeah, there is something you need to do about the oil or other practices, right? So ghee is the great antidote for pitta. Yeah, but with the taste wise, the mustard oil, if you are used to that, then you need to kind of, as you said, you need to experiment mixing two different oils, mustard and olive oil. I do mix oils sometimes for some of my cooking. So mustard and olive oil combination or mustard and ghee combination to cook and see how it feels.
But replacing it with ghee is all right?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Ghee is anytime is yeah, is actually the recommended one. Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
except for deep
Cooking
fry,
in the ghee, yeah. Even for the deep fry, they recommend ghee. Deep frying in ghee is much more healthier than deep frying in any other oil.
and I've seen people replacing for the similar issues of pitta and stuff. I've
Mm-hmm.
seen people replacing, like we make curry, so instead of besan, again, besan, right? Chickpea flour.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I've seen
Mm-hmm.
people replacing that with ragi flour. So isn't
Mm.
isn't that playing with the traditional recipes? I thought traditional recipes would have a lot of wisdom, and we are just replacing some ingredients, and that just somehow, I don't know. There's a confusion in my head if it is a good idea or a bad idea.
Yeah. So, so depending on where are you living now? Are you living in North India or?
Delhi, yeah, North India. I live in
Mm,
Delhi, Gurgaon.
okay, okay. Yeah, so basically changing with the oil, of course, there is a wisdom in the traditional recipes, as you said, but we also need to see what else, like what kind of combinations they are doing and what is their lifestyle and how is their sleeping pattern. There, a lot of things have changed in that sense, right? And that basically we may need to tweak some of the recipes, and keeping those understanding the qualities of the ingredients will help to tweak the recipes. For example, this chena, that besan with ragi. I'm not sure what the goal is. So ragi, we know it actually, it's a millet. Of course, it is drying. And Chennai is also has a vata quality, but so that falls into so what is there is if their goal is the weight loss or something out of that recipe, maybe they are reaching that with that mixing that, right? Replacing um, besan with ragi flour. So we need to look at why we are doing it. Yeah.
I was told for easier digestion, but I'm not sure. I mean,
Digestion, I'm not sure. I'm
yeah,
not
because
sure.
even ragi, like you said, is drying, and so is
Yeah,
chickpea
yeah,
flour. And,
yeah.
and that's a millet too. So millet will also need a lot of
Lot
digestive.
of. digest. Yeah, yeah. So
Mm,
yeah, so over the time it will create dryness in the body, and yeah.
mhm.
Good,
Okay.
good, good, good,
Thank
Monica.
you.
Good, Monica. Thank you. Sangeeta.
No, I just had, I mean, I'm living in Germany. I have two kids. One is born in India, and we were recently in India just a few weeks ago, and I realized how it's very interesting to observe one of them who's born there, the
Mm-hmm.
way the food digestions, how it worked with him and how it worked with they both like the food. It's not about
Yeah.
the but
Mm-hmm.
how the body reacted and what happened with their Agni was very interesting to observe. With one of
Mm-hmm.
them was born here, what happened? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and and sometimes like what you said about the Acharya saying about the 30, 70, and I think of all these, how do I keep that in our family with all the different constitutions that they have? Because so
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I think it's also nice to just simply have these the very basic elements of like having ghee, having
Mm-hmm.
ginger, having turmeric, and these kind of things in my cooking also
Mm-hmm.
is kind of contributing to the 30%. Or of course we
Mm-hmm.
eat rice, we eat dals, but
Yeah, yeah.
I think there's a lot of like it's just a response to what Kanton was also asking,
Mm-hmm.
but based on my observation that there are some things that we can always have, the herbs that are there,
Yeah.
or the that adds to the still
Mm-hmm.
the kind of qualities of what Ayurveda says is important, and these six tastes. If there's a
Yeah.
way, I mean, I know we have to keep experimenting and trying the combinations,
Yes, yes.
try
Yeah.
noticing, but there is really no one in our family with the same combination of the mixed kids. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
both kids are the same dad and mom, but they have a very different
Different.
constitution, and
Trans.
that,
Yeah, yeah,
um, yeah.
yeah,
But
yeah.
about ghee, I wanted to ask you. There's when I was in India, there was this big thing about like A2 ghee. Everybody was talking about it, and suddenly it felt like ghee also had like this, okay,
Mm-hmm.
which ghee? But of
Mm-hmm.
course, we live in a modern world where none of the cows are anymore. I mean, not all ghee is made from this A2 quality ghee. So
Yeah,
how do
yeah.
you see that, like using it for cooking? If it's not this quality ghee, do we
Mm-hmm.
keep, does it still give you the benefits of what ghee
Mm-hmm.
actually does? Or do we
Yeah,
make ghee at home?
yeah. So the ghee, that is actually, you know how traditionally ghee, ghee is made, right? So it is made out of the cream from the yogurt. Right, that is the butter, and so when you churn that yogurt with the cream, so you get the butter, and then you put it on the stove so to get the ghee. But lot of ghee that is sold outside is made out of the milk. It is not going through the culturing process at all. Right. So when Ayurveda is talking about the ghee, it is talking about that cultured ghee. So when you are buying ghee outside, look for that whether it says it went through that cultured process, traditional process of making ghee. That is one thing. And so there are a lot of there are a lot of organizations or companies now that are selling this organic and pasteurized and all that stuff. So look for something that is basically our bill the whatever the product we are buying from the cows are not got into any like this anti the like the hormonal injections and all that, the less process that we went through, the better it is, the better qualities our ghee will have. So I try to buy from the local farm here. So if you can have find some farm raising or something like that, so you can buy the cream, and if you have time you can make the ghee at home. Otherwise, they also sell these cultured ghees. So can try to find, like, you need to put some in little bit of effort to find the good ghee. Or you can buy the cream outside and make the thing by your own. Yeah. So just make sure you are getting the cultured ghee instead of just the ghee from the milk cream. That's all I can.
So Shubha, we make ghee at home.
Yes.
Is that what you mean by
Yeah.
getting
Yeah.
the
So
ghee?
ghee at home means you are making it from the yogurt. Is how you.
Yeah, I mean, we collect the milk cream and we keep adding a little bit of yogurt, and then when there's sufficient
Yes.
quantity, we allow it to
Yeah.
ferment over the night, and then we churn it, and then you get the butter.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that butter is what I make ghee of, because
Yes.
that's how traditionally we have been doing it at home.
Yes. Yes.
But is that okay, or are you saying that's
Yeah, yeah,
not?
that is what I mean. That is the culture, that is the ghee that Ayurveda talks about.
Okay.
So the
I
ghee
had
is
a
actually sold in lot of stores is not made out of that process. It is
got
just
it,
made
got it,
the cream
got it,
from.
got it. So one of the questions that I had was on this balancing of all the 6 days. Yeah. It's not something that I'm successfully being able to manage to, and it overwhelms me to be able to cook something that needs to address this balancing of tastes.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so how does one go about in a way that, you know, for me, it feels, yeah, I mean, the very fact of this itself is like, oh my God, do I now
Mm-hmm.
need to look at my food? And also because my own relationship with food is, okay, keep it healthy, keep it minimal,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
whatever is seasonal, you cook, that kind of a thing. I don't put too much of thought into a lot of the process. So
No. Yeah.
while
Yeah.
this seems very informative to me, also it seems very challenging, right? It feels like, oh my God,
So
that's the feeling I'm getting and sinking with. So I'm just wondering, how does one, uh, because I think max is about 2 tastes or 3 tastes is what I can manage. And through some vegetables, maybe the fourth taste, like a bitter when we do the bitter gourd or whatever, right? But I cannot do that across in every meal. Um, and
So,
so is
lot of our, sorry to interrupt. So, the lot of our herbs are like fall into this astringent, bitter. Like if you use some methi seeds that fall into the bitter taste. So, just a little bit of it. So, the primary tastes are like sweet actually, in our food. So, any herbs, any spices you use, that would fall into this bitter and astringent taste. If you put a little bit of chili or something, that would fall into the pungent. And you can just squeeze the 2 drops of lime that falls into the sour taste, that satisfies the
okay.
sour taste. So it is not, yeah, it is. So if you use spices in your meal, you are sorted. Yeah, so you don't need to worry too much about whether I have all the sweet is basically by like our rice is sweet, right? So you don't need to eat extra sweet. So rice is already sweet, and even our moong dal and all are kind of two tastes. There is sweet and the astringent. The two tastes come there. So and yeah, in sour you can satisfy with the lime juice. Of course, we use salt for all the curries and all that. So that way it is not very hard to do that. Yeah.
But primarily every meal we need to be looking at being able to balance the 6 days is what I'm hearing you say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that actually gives the minimum 5 days. Yeah. That actually makes basically we are made up of the 5 elements, right? So these all these tastes are nothing but the combination of these 5 elements. We are serving all the 5 elements when we are eating the food with all the tastes. So that would actually improve the satisfaction. You will also notice your cravings will come down. You don't crave for the food so much if you actually eat with this. Yeah. And yeah. So if you are eating rice every day, you are actually satisfying that the major thing, the sweet tooth. So again, how you are eating also makes the difference to improve the satisfaction level. Think Durga or somebody has a question.
Yeah, I I had the question that we generally use sunflower oil. It's been there, it's light and don't really change the oil too much, but I think there are two
Yeah.
opinions about it. And what's the opinion on millet? Millet is heavy, but if we eat less, it's supposed to have a lot of fiber and everything, so it's supposed to be good. But what does Ayurveda say? And third thing is about salads. Kira, I really am fond of just grating kira and putting it in some buttermilk and eating that. I thought it is a bit cooling to my stomach. But you are saying that raw foods are not very uh, desirable. So these three things, that's my question. As the time is running out, I thought I'll not ask the question. Thanks. Thank you.
No, so when you are eating millet, how do you feel? Like, so what do you notice and how long have you, like, is this something that you are eating every day or have you started this recently? Um, um,
Yeah, just once in a week kind of a thing. People suggest eating every day, but I feel it doesn't really agree with me.
yeah.
It's a bit heavy. So I eat I'm very conscious about that, but I just thought, when people talk, I just wanted to say this, what I like most about this talk is that every food, there is no one recipe, one solution. There are basic principles, and each one of us has to evolve our own diet based on our, age, uh, place, whatever, health, and so on. So I'm very, very thankful about that because when people talk about it outside, there are so many uh, all solutions for all kind of thing, right? Millets are good, that kind of a thing. So
Yeah.
thank you for that. That's something that I'll start thinking about. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Durga. Yeah, so millet, if you're eating just once a day, that is fine. Again, it comes back to what you are actually used to eating as you are a child or something that is most agreeable to you. So if you are eating once in a while, or even if you want to eat for something, some purpose, so make sure observe how you are digesting and how it is. So millet is one of the main thing they say is it dries you up. So whatever is in our stomach, that is our. So we also observed the mouth in the beginning of the practice, right? That is the mouth is the replica of whatever is happening in our stomach. So if you are feeling a lot of dryness after eating, so that is the indication that something is, you might need something more to add to your millet. So always cook with ghee, always have ghee with the millet to actually reduce the dryness. Those kind of changes you need to make. And also it's not recommended. Ayurveda doesn't recommend to eat it every single day. So for not all the meals. So Ayurveda gives utmost importance to the rice. So rice is easy to digest and yeah, and it increases the satisfaction. And millets are also are not of the sweet taste. They are also like have a pungent taste to it. So that is why it helps to reduce the weight and clean the channels and that kind of stuff. But over the time, it is not beneficial. That's what Ayurveda says. And so your next question, sorry, forgot.
About sunflower oil.
Sunflower oil, yeah. Not so basically, oil, according to Ayurveda, needs to have everything has the qualities, right? Oil needs to have that viscosity, that kind of a thickness, and that kind of. But sunflower oil seems very, very light. So based on that, Ayurveda says it's not like, of course, some even there, like different Vaidyas say differently. But again, so traditionally the ghee is the one most recommended, and the sesame oil. And again, for the North India, it is mustard oil.
What
And
about
followed
groundnut oil?
groundnut oil we use, right? Yeah. So that is not documented. It is not like it is not supposed to be used or anything. Those things are not documented in Ayurveda. So again, based on the, if you want to feel like, do use sunflower oil for deep frying, not for the regular cooking. But yeah, depends on the qualities.
I just wanted to offer a time check. We are
Yes,
4 minutes over.
it's
So
over. So yes, I'm going to wrap up. Let's see. This is just a quick view of what we talked about the timing of the meals. So again, this is not exact an Ayurvedic clock. Ayurvedic clock has this 4 hour slots, but this is actually replica of the circadian rhythm, where it says the midday is the time where your digestive enzymes and everything are at a peak. So this is the suggested time for the heavy meal, the lunch. And then as you go into the evening, your digestion reduces, capacity reduces. That is why it is recommended to have a light meal, easy to digest meal at the night, in the evening. This is the midnight. The gap between the meal and the time you go to sleep is also very important. So you don't want to go to bed with a heavy, after just eating right after the meal. So you need to at least have 2 hour gap so the body digests, the food gets digested, and the other repair stuff can happen when you sleep. Otherwise, when you sleep, so if it is still working on the digestion, the repairing, sorting of the memory, and all of things can't happen. Again, you need to have 2 hours. If you have more than 3 hours gap or 4 hours gap, that means your food is already digested, and again, you might feel hungry. So that is why it is not recommended to stay awake very long. So otherwise, your food, the body might ask for more food because you are keeping awake and doing other things. And this is actually the time that the body uses for its own nourishing, kind of doing all the repair work that it needs to do, sorting the memories, and digesting the experiences, and all that stuff happens at night. So that is why the sleep is very, very important. And 10 to 2 is the period that is given for experiencing the deep sleep. So if you rob your body of this time, so this will lead into affecting the Agni in the following day. So you might wake up with um, um, so very dull or kind of weak, feeling lethargic in the morning, all that stuff. So if you have to drink coffee to keep awake, that means there is something not going on in these timings. There is something not going well during the sleep or at the night evening meal. So that is something to look at. So the reason I started focusing on this one, the evening meal and the night fast, because I wanted to do the yoga practice every day in the morning, but the some days I just don't have energy, or I feel very lethargic. So I started working on this area first. That actually gave me the motivation. So every day now I wake up fresh most of the days, and I do. So it gives me the motivation to do my practice. That plays an important role. And then again, so the Ayurveda doesn't recommend doing smoothies or drinking very heavy, doing anything heavy, eating anything heavy during the morning time, because that time the sun is not high, so the everything is, even when you look outside, everything is little wet and dewy, so your body also feels that way. So you need to eat something light to kickstart the same things. That is just summarizing about the timings. And so just nourishing, to summarize, so through Agni decides what we eat, and the quality of our ahara and the quantity of our food that we take in maintains the strength of the Agni. So they do have the two-way relationship. So we need to keep in touch with these two elements all the time, and transforms food into energy and the vitality. So these are just the key points that we talked about. Mindfully use supportive spices, and balanced Agni and Ahara is better digestion and energy and overall well-being. And I know we are 9 minutes over the limit, but I think it is very important for us to just take few moments, so, and just run through what we have covered and what is staying with you. And what are the couple of things that you think you are ready to start implementing or changing, or you think that would help you in your journey of wellness or inner journey? So take a couple of moments for that. You can write it down. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Wonderful.
Thank you so much for a really engaging session. I don't know about everybody else, but I know I really learned a lot. helped me self-reflect also the things that I'm not doing, that prajna parada of it's good for you, but then you lose it sometimes, so thanks for bringing me back to that space with intentions of which changes to make. So we look forward to the next session. So thank you all very much. Yeah, that next session is next week, correct?
No, it is on 30th. So we
It's
have
November
two.
30th.
November
Yeah,
30th.
I would be very excited to hear from all of you in 2 weeks. What are the things that you are following and what is actually connecting with you, right? For me, like doing the prayer was not really connected with, so it took me a while. So it's like you start from where you are and kind of move slowly get into it. So but taking that step is understanding the importance and taking that step is important. And so for the next session, if you have anything that you want us to cover, you can let maybe Tarini, I don't know how the communication is, but let us know so we can put together something that it is more valuable to you.
Yeah.
So this is the introduction to get you started. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.